Usually, I think of a topic right before I click the record button. So it's very on the spur of the moment, ad hoc, extemporaneous matter. And tonight, it happened to be obscure words from the dictionary, Oxford English Dictionary. It's basically I'm piggybacking. Did I say piggyback? Yeah, piggybacking, leapfrogging, catapulting, jumping off the gangplank of my previous video on letter T, excuse me, where I regaled the entire world with obscure words starting with letter T, notably tchotchke. So I thought it'd be fun to ramble on about the dictionary, what I have actually cultivated and culled from reading dictionary for the last fucking 3 years, I think, since 2017, 2018, 2019, about 3 years tops. Hati Humayun, that's a unique word. It means decree. Ottoman, I guess. Ottoman. Speaking of Ottoman Janissaries, there's also the Bashi Bazook. That incidentally, I think, shows up on the front of. Does it? No. Bazooki, I think it's on the first volume. From A to Bazooki, and then it's BBC to Chalipsographer. Chalipsographer is the gentleman who studies steel engraving. I wrote a sort of mini novella on it, monologue about Robert Graves. He's a chalipsographer, he's a psychopath. I also spawned the psychopath literature. Well, not literature genre, but rather the theme is basically people with obscure Victorian profession are psychopaths. So Chalipsographer's monologue was this, and there are sometimes I try to interlink the universes, and then there was the fisherman about Jomo. I highly recommend you check my book out on Amazon, The Fisherman. And I'm not begging you, but because it's that kind of book, I think I'm proud of it. If I were to leave one single work, masterpiece, quote unquote, Joycean work, stream of consciousness plus intractable literature, I mean, vocabulary in literature, it has to be that book. And I would rate probably one of the. This is me being Kanye right now. I'm Kanyeing this shit. Tobogganing this shit. Falhai or Valhai is a shark. I forget the Latin term. Gallianus? No, what is the Latin term for the Falhai? Falhai is a South African word, probably Dutch or Afrikaner. And we're gonna be here for a long time because there are about 300,000 words and entries in the dictionary. Morocco, it's not only a country, but I think kind of like Macintosh, Mac. I think so. I don't exactly, and that's the problem, or like the sort of the oversight of reading dictionary, because you can't, you have to Google each and every term, and there are 300,000. And obviously you can't. Although I created this Pictionary, I used to, and then it just became too impossible to manage because there are so many words, and I don't want to crash my fucking hard drive. It was inspired by the SAS. Apparently, they have this visual encyclopedia of all the blueprints and architecture, 3D model of all the famous places in England. So probably like if it was us here, they would have the one for Congress, the Library of Congress, fucking White House, and so they have this 3D visual library inside in their database, and they can recreate that anytime in a warehouse. So that was the inspiration behind it. I wanted to create my library, but it was too overwhelming. But I retained a lot. Worm eater. Apparently, what they used to do back in the days to make believe the fact that furnitures are really old, they used to hire all these people with muskets and guns, I guess, shotguns, not shotguns, like whatever. I'm not too good with firearms. So basically, they would drill holes in the furniture, like grand piano or cabinet, and so make it look like it's antiquated. So, and that's what it's called worm eating. And there's of course the bird worm eater. Holmgang Island Duel. I think so. Probably it's. I wonder if it's no, it's not Dutch. Irish, not Irish. Probably Nordic, Scandinavian. I don't know the exact origin. Could it be Danish or I don't know. Cutlass, seox, scimitar. Those are the swords. Halberd is not a sword. Karambit is a knife. And there are some weird words like hachu, which is like hachu, like sneezing. There's a word called o, like Hawaiian bird. Anvil, all, last, cobbler, cobbler or slash blacksmith term. Aglet or aglet, part of a shoe. Heel counter is also part of a shoe, not necessarily out of the dictionary, straight out of it. Zimargi, I can't recall exactly what it means. Zimargi. Zist is probably the last word. Zyst, I think. Some dictionary is Ziziva or Zizivix. Zizix is some insect. Then there's Ziziva, and is Ziziva the weevil? Or is Zizix the Zizix also was the corporation in Kyle XY. And it was a good show. It was very intellectually, not necessarily intellectually, but it was a robust blend of brawn. I mean, not brawn, like entertainment, family life. It was ABC Family, and just serious, like intellectual bar. Like it wasn't too bland and dumb. And Poltergeist, that's well known. Aplomb, aloof. In the movie Words and Pictures, Clive Owen talks about it. Apparently, he also has this photographic mind. He remembers the whole fucking dictionary. Apparently, because that's my interpretation. Because that's the image he's resonating. Projecting. And he talked about how aloof comes from a sailing, like nautical term. How aloof, like you're something to sail, aloof. Avuncular, pertaining to uncle. Avocet, a bird. Pied deficit or avocet. Carlew is another related bird. Parka, punka, palanquin. Trucktavon, something like that. It's like a palanquin. I wrote a book. It's a novel, short story, like a page short story, about a lady in the times of Zenana and Mughal emperor, how she had photographic memory just by traveling in her palanquin, and it was this almost a breeze through like a acid trip, LSD trip through that world, Byzantine, not Byzantine, Ottoman, like that Islamic world. And because of her journey, the entire world appeared to her as if in a film strip, as like a photographic, videographic memory, and she had that. That was the gist of that story. It's gonna be found, I think, Ziggurat, the Bellboy, the Clown, and the Ziggurat. That's that. Check that out on Amazon. Another plug. Wink, wink. Cutlass. I don't think I mentioned cutlass when I mentioned scimitar and seox. And pix is a small bowl, vessel, ceramic, probably ancient Greece. Mackerel, some fish. Mentioned this. I first used this word in an essay describing some abstract imaginary person, like with mackerel, like eyebrows, and that was like an early sign that I was very flowery. You know, I used to write things like backwash, living in the boat, like you know the Reese's advertisement. I described it as a, and there was this Reese's advertisement with a shark with a chocolate thingy, and I wrote, and we had to write about advertisement, and this was like in the early 2000, 2001 probably. How it left a backwash of trail of biscuits, I mean of cookie crumbs, or yeah. I'd rather be flowery than be fucking. But I don't want to rant right now. I think if I start ranting, I'll just my mood will be pelagic. I think it means pertaining to seashore. Pelagic birds, storm petrel. Clementine or clematis. Clematis is a flower type of flower. I think a plant. Ragnarok. Rongo Rongo. Those cursive script, Polynesian cursive script, Rapa Nui. Ragnarok is probably Scandinavian Odin and Yggdrasil and Loki and those guys. The tree of life, the whole fucking Hugin and Munin, those two birds at the either side of the Odin, and there's Thor, obviously. I never watched Thor. I'm not into this Marvel, Avengers, DC type of the CGI filled movies. I checked out. I finally Tsutsugamashi. It's I think type of an insect. I think it's a sort of that infests like kusarigama. Those mace like things you wield, like chained. I think are they chained? The kusarigama. I think yeah. Those are those like ball and chain, and then there's of course caltrop, those pointed stars that you leave so that the horse can't when there's when they're marching the horse can't like follow you, or elephants. Hannibal I think brought the elephants from during the Punic Wars, Battle of Carthage or Punic Wars. Carthage, where was Carthage? In Libya, modern day Libya I think. And there was Septimus Severus, Scipio Africanus, the African who became the slave, who became the Roman emperor. And there was this story, but I found this in a spy book, like a sort of childrenish spy book, long time ago, 10, 20 years ago. Not 20 years ago, probably 15 years ago. How Baden-Powell encoded the map in a butterfly diagram and several other, like an insect diagram, and it was a hidden mess. It was hidden. It was just a sketch of an insect or a butterfly or whatever, but it encoded like the key points of the enemy. And Baden-Powell, obviously the guy who founded Boy Scouts, and Scipio Africanus, I think, or Septimus Severus was the emperor who tattooed a guy with a message, on someone's head, and let the hair grew. And so that was the first one of the first usage of, you know, carrying a concealed message in your body, and not. And after he went, and I think it was went to Darius or some Persian guy. I don't know. I'm completely butchering it. And then he shaved his head, and they saw the message. Skytelli, I think, also worked like that. Where Skytelli ciphers, veneer cipher, Vangtan, viol de gamba, those instruments where you play 'em, because gamba is like feet, legs, thigh, jams, and truss, buttress, gargoyle, some architectural terms. I mean, there's so many. I mean, hyrax, John Travolta mentions that in Phenomenon. Heliotropic. I wonder if there's heliophobia. No, I don't think there's a phobia of sunlight. Heliotropic, heliophiliac, or Hemophiliac, hermaphrodite. Snails are hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites, I think. Hermaphrodites. Hymenoptera. Hymen, we also know about the T. What's that guy's name? The rapper? Hymen. Hymenoptera. The birds. Thysanoptera, I think. Or Hymenoptera, I don't know. Fireflies. Is that their. How are fireflies relevant to signaling theory? Mimicry, biomimicry is biomimicry. So many in advancements in technology has been made due to the whole mimicry of animal behavior and the camouflage, the octopus and underwater animals camouflage. Researched this researched this whole deal with the camouflage in Wikipedia for a while. There's this razzle dazzle camouflage where you just don't even try to hide the ship, but rather you paint it with black and white in a zigzag pattern, and that deflects the light somehow. And so, in plain sight, a big ass fucking ship, can be invisible. And people have, like, the biomimicry for camouflage. I mean, people have invested in everything from fucking glass lizards to snail, worm, whatnot. Not snail, probably. Yeah, even if you want to make gillies and if you want to blend in with your environment, I mean, watch how the stick insects behave, or like some other, probably every animal in the on the face of the planet, from leopards to whatnot. Like, minaret, mastaba, mondop, I think mandop, moyurpanki or moorpanki, that's a Bengali word, Moorpunkhi or Y. Basically, those peacock boats. Vimana is in the dictionary. Those aliens, ancient alien, those flying saucers, Vimana. Advaita, Zend Avesta, Chi, I think, which is a lute or something like a wind instrument or whatever from China. Chi or Yue, Yueh, something similar to that. There are so many weird Y words like Yomplet, like YWMPLET, some weird words with no. Just look out the Y section, the trail of the Y section in Oxford English Dictionary. There's some of the most bizarre words out there. Wycliffe, that's, called, we know that. Ytterbium, Yggdrasil, all starting with Y. Iguanodon, the dinosaur. Antler, anteater, alibi, hubris, table saw. I'm trying to find some bizarre ones. Xenopus is another one, the frog that is used to impregnate, inject in a pregnant woman's urine into another frog. Xenopus, that's the frog, and they find out if she's pregnant or not from the Xenopus, the frog. It's weird. Who the hell ever thought about it? Ziphisternal. Ziph is your shoulder, or ziphisternal, something to do with your shoulder plate, or oh no, I think ziphisternal is probably one. No, ziphiplastron is one of the segment of a tortoise or like a turtle, and then there's ziph, swordfish, and there's Ziphius, Xenodochial. Yeah, I know the X by heart actually. All the words are from X. Xaverian, Xenophontian. Xenophontian wrote a book on horsemanship. Zavante, Xantho, Locroix, Xanthomelanocroix, Ziston, Zister, Zistarch, like a portico wrestler, like in the ancient Greece, the guy who used to take care of him, the Vato used to stand there, the Zistarch. Whenever I think of Zistarch, the head of gymnastics in ancient Greece or Rome, the wrestlers or in the gym, the guy, he reminds me of those Asterix guys. Macabre, Grand Guignol, Sang-Froid. Morocco is a country that has a meaning. Japan also has a meaning in like woodworking, furnishing. China also has a meaning, porcelain. So these are the countries that also has meanings. What other countries have meanings like that? Chile, not necessarily because of the spelling. Thuggy, Rumali, Thuggy. The word thugs come from Thuggy, those Rumalis, those Indian bandits, thugs. There was this secret cult, and then you all this. There is actually a field of martial arts devoted to entire field with the to Rumali Thuggis, like how with a handkerchief, or you can, you know, extrapolate that idea and build upon that, and do things like with a necktie or a rope, or like like fucking Jason Statham, like. So once you get, you know, have that nailed down with a necktie or anything, I mean, that has implications. Kali, Filipino martial art, hand-to-hand combat, even from mouse pad to anything, you can improvise that as a weapon, from wires to this mic cord, cause use that, cause these to strangulate people, those bandits, those thugs, and they were known for the strangulation, choking, asphyxiation, esophagus, gullet. Pantagruel and Gargantua by written by Rabelais. Rabelaisian means big, giant. Gargantuan, Rabelaisian, Rabelaisian, Lilliputian. Was the other tribe? Yahuligan, not Yahuligan. There was another word from Lilliput, Gulliver's Trouble. I forgot. I think Xantho Melanocroy or Xantho Locroy, probably those words were also in like those tribes. Yahua were the one of the tribes in, I think, the places where Swift's hero went. Jonathan Swift. Pangolin, Mandolin. Captain Corliss's Mandolin. I was watching that movie and I used to conflate that with pangolin and mandolin, mandolin, and pangolin. I used to watch movies alone, and then I watched that movie and I complained about some splotch mark or blob or some whatever like this mark on the screen. As oftentimes, sometimes there can be spots on the screen. So that was my reference point. That was my Slumdog Millionaire moment. Fucking, if I go to Millionaire Show, how do you even know that, Zeeshan? Because, oh, well, Regis, or who the fuck is hosting right now? Jimmy Kimmel. Well, Jimmy, that Tool right now. The Tool is gonna host it for a celebrity Millionaire Show. Asphodel, four in a hand is probably a Surrey or like a vis-a-vis, like carriage. Tim Whiskey, Tam O'Shanter, I already talked about it today. Tim Whiskey, Brugam, Ekka is probably like Ekka is the Indian word ek, one. So one wheel carriage, or like it just means one pair of wheel carriage. You can have a one wheel carriage, or can you? Kind of like rickshaw, but I don't know. I don't think you can have a one wheel carriage. Probably one axled carriage. Gari, Chela means a latkin. Guri, like a watch. No, what is that word? Brinjeri seller. Someone who sells in the British British rule. They used to sell brinjals, or like eggplants. We call them brinjals back there. Like lady's finger is the term for what do you call that here? Yeah, lady's finger. That's okra. Because British and American there are some distinct. Like torch, that's the obvious one. Torch and like flashlight or ensconce. Ensconce, remember that from I think Cask of Amontillado. Nebulae, crab nebulae. Um, I don't know. Penumbra, apogee, Eperielion, Logoria, and then like a verbal diarrhea. Lux, what is the meaning of lux? I know doxology is the study of truth or something similar to that. Or doxastics, with Saul Kripke, modal logic, that, or Remus Williams theory. Like there is this believer, like just rational observer, then there's the judgmental one. That reminds me of that theory, like Kripke modal logic, Kripke symbols, Kripke's theory, Kripke, and then there's the Kripke-Platek theory. I wonder what is the most complicated mathematical term mentioned in, like Liouville theorem, Sturm-Liouville theorem, probably mentioned in OED. Who knows? Plantagenet? No, I don't think it's mentioned. Khyber Pass? Probably not. Oligopoly? Gander? Goosebumps? Cold turkey? The addicts, because the addicts face cold turkey because of the pimples, those pimples, like not pimples, like because the skin resembles like those of goose or a turkey after the withdrawal syndrome. Trellis, portcullis, the drawbridge. Machiculation, another castle term part. Keep is a bailey or inner bailey, I think is a castle term, fortress term. Types of arches, OG. Oh, is Ortiv? No, Ortiv means Eastern. It doesn't mean Eastern, or what does Ortiv mean? Ortive. OG is one. There's rosette, those sort of windows. There's oriole, and then there's awning, architrave, keystone, metope. Metope is a column term. There are the three columns: Doric, Ionic, Corinthian. I think I'll just keep it short and sweet, fucking half an hour, because I get tired at the end and I don't wanna slur my speech. Plus, it's been a long day today. Osvogel means like what does Osvogel mean? Vogel means bird, right? Yeah, cause Vogel, us like a bird. Aardvark. So that's about it. Thank you for listening.